Greetings all, and welcome to another episode of Tanda Tula Sofa Safari. This is indeed a jacket I have on. It has been a beautifully chilly few days. Well, chilly may be an exaggeration, but definitely mild. Cloud cover is still with us, although there is a hint of colour coming through on the western side. It's scheduled to be around 27 degrees today, so I'm sure this will break up. Just kick-starting this episode with a drive today. I will probably continue it after my guests have checked out this weekend, but let's just see how good the day is. Maybe I can finish it in a drive or two. We've had a really enjoyable weekend, almost a full camp. So great to have this wonderful atmosphere back in the lodge. Happy guests, happy staff. It really was wonderful. The game viewing helped tremendously too. We had some sightings of the river pride, a number of sightings of just the males, all three boys together, a couple of males on their own. We then caught up with the pride and the cub. Unfortunately, we only found them in the afternoon, or relocated them in the afternoon, and it was already getting dark, so no photos, but we spent some time with them until we had to leave them in peace. We also had a couple of lovely sightings of Nialeti and Shigodo. Using the windy weather that had been around that weekend, she managed to make a kill, and seems as though it was stolen by another young male, but eventually mom and son returned and we got to watch them finishing it off and then move away. The highlight though for my weekend of sightings was no doubt this one here of our female cheetah with an impala kill. And we found her, I mean, we were actually sitting in the area when she made the kill. We had been stopping to watch some birds. Had a guest, Shannon, who was very keen on birds, and there were a couple of species that he wanted to add to his list, and I stopped to see if the LBJ, the little brown job on the ground, was a dusky lark. And while we were sitting watching them, the impalas came bursting out of the bush, all alarm calling. We knew something had happened. I could hear the death bellow of an impala getting taken. So we went to the big loop round to where the impala herd had erupted from and where they were still standing shouting. But unfortunately, there was nothing there, and we drove in the block, we checked where they were looking, and we were about to make a slightly bigger loop out there thinking maybe it was a false alarm, although we knew it wasn't. And Glenn and I both focused intently as we saw this tawny shape pop up, with the binoculars on, thinking it was likely going to be a leopard, but deep down hoping not, and it was not. It was a cheetah. And as we made an approach, yes, she was with a kill. So we spent pretty much the entire morning watching her there. Sadly, she disappeared after that. We didn't catch up with her again, but what a treat to have a morning with her like that. And yeah, sightings of Thumbela as well, lots of ellies in the beginning, then some beautiful big bulls afterwards. It was just a lovely weekend. Got a few days now between that camp emptying out and our camp picking up again this coming weekend. So yes, that's why I'm out driving now. So anyway, enough talking, let's carry on, see what else there is. A little family of banded mongooses standing up to get a better view, babies and all. Little crested francolin and her chicks. So we're here by the Mashatan. Whole lot of monkeys going crazy. I would say it would be Thumbela, but Scotch is already sitting with Thumbela and her son just behind me here. We'll go back there now. But let's go see what's causing alarm here. Could it be our cheetah? Probably going to be lion, but let's see. So we didn't have any luck with what those monkeys had been alarm calling at on the western side. Scotch and Jack are going to go check on the eastern side now, towards Tula's Plains. Maybe lion, maybe cheetah, maybe nothing, who knows. But if someone's going to find it, it's going to be our two master trackers. They have left what they found yesterday, which was Thumbela and her son. They found a drag mark, probably close to a kilometer away, 800 meters away from here, and followed the drag mark of where Thumbela was dragging this impala kill back to the river where her son had obviously been hiding. And she got it up a tree last night, and they're still here this morning, hiding in the long grass at the moment, but luckily we have time, so we'll wait and see if they do decide to come out a little bit more into the open. Son was sitting next to her. He was looking much more confident than last time, but we'll see what happens. You can see his left eye, if I can focus. Sorry, his right eye, looking a little injured there. I'm not quite sure what happened. Scotch's theory is maybe a thorn. The report we got yesterday was that he had lost his eye, it was gone, but looking at it now, it's there, but the extent of the injuries will take a while to ascertain, I'm sure. Doesn't look to be in any pain while we've been watching him. He hasn't been rubbing it. But he's definitely improving in confidence, a lot more than last time we saw him. And you may see just above her head in the frame in the tree behind one of the legs of the impala hanging out of the tree, and safely hoisted away from danger, scavenging hyenas and, well, yes, scavenging hyenas. A lion might actually be able to send that tree, but for their sake, I hope the lions don't come here. The little boy has actually gone up the tree to feed, so I think let us go around to the riverbed and see if he stays and feeds. Maybe Mom will come when he's done. Deja vu, hey? You can give us another fight. So he succeeded in dropping the kill. Okay, so sorry, as I was coming around, the youngster dropped the kill, so it's now sitting on the ground. He's joined Mom up there. I thought she was going to rehoist it, but I'm not quite sure why she hasn't. A little bit dangerous having the kill on the ground. It's just what I was saying in the last segment about it being nice and safe up there, but if any hyena were to come now, Mom would have to be very alert, shoot down there and grab it and take it up before the hyena came. But for now, I mean, we're 7:15 in the morning. It's a very cool morning. Definitely a period when the hyenas may still be active, but not as much of a risk as if it were dusk, moving into nighttime. Some intestines for breakfast. So they're happy to eat these internal organs, but obviously something like the intestines is going to contain the pellets that haven't quite made it out of the impala. So what you'll often see is them grab it in their incisors and use their rough tongue to pull that intestine back, but keeping their mouth slightly closed so that the pellets can't make it through between the upper and lower incisors, and they'll pull the intestine in and then get rid of all of those pellets. Again, I seem to discuss the most wonderful topics with you, so I always hope that you're not having this during a meal or breakfast. You can see that eye a little better now in the shame, man. It doesn't look very good, I'm not going to lie. Doesn't, as I say, it doesn't seem to affect him. He's not rubbing it. And if he were to lose the eye, maybe a little bit more difficult at his age, but there's numerous stories of leopards that have lost their eyes and carried on living full lives, one-eyed. They're adaptable, and you would think they would affect their ability to judge distance, which would make hunting difficult, climbing trees difficult, but it doesn't appear to bother them in any significant way. Yeah, would be interested to know what happened. We will never know. I don't believe it could be a predator. A predator is going to get him by the eye. It's going to kill him. It's not going to leave him with an injury. So that's maybe a branch, a thorn, something like that that has affected him. Who knows? Don't want to say it was his mom, but possibly even a smack from her. We saw how they went after each other the last time food was involved, although not aggressive, and it would never be your intention to hurt him. Sometimes a misplaced claw can do that. Oh, I am so useless. This hyena pitched up, my iPhone broke and stopped working. Thumbela succeeded in getting the kill up the tree and then running down and chasing the hyena away because it was coming back towards her cub. Oh, shit. And she's just lost the kill. It fell out the tree. Ah. That's a massive pity. No, girl, there's nothing left. That was the whole thing gone. Technology nightmare, man. Sorry, that was 10 seconds of action and I recorded none of it. Thumbela's walked off after that hyena. With it just being one hyena, there is a chance she's going to get some of it back. It looked as though there's probably still about half of the impala on the carcass. There's only so much that hyena can eat, and her hope is that while it's feeding, it has its share, moves off, and she can run in and grab the remains and get that up a tree. I can hear a cub calling somewhere, but yeah, very typical motherly behavior when that hyena tried to get up this ledge behind to get to where the cub and the kill were. Thumbela was having none of it. And that is just so unfortunate for Thumbela. She did what she had to do. She got the kill, back up the tree, chased off the hyena, and then somehow this kill dropped. Obviously wasn't lodged up in the fork of the tree very well. It's raining now. Gloomy, yeah, that's how I feel. I was looking forward to having a couple of drives with these guys. But yeah, she's marched up here somewhere, so let's see if we can relocate her. Maybe just sitting watching. Yeah, she is too. So there are now 2 hyenas. You can see them milling around at the top, which greatly decreases her chances of getting her kill back. Come on, please work this time, iPhone. Actually sounds like there might be a third one that's run off with the remainder of the kill. I don't know where Timbavati's gone. I've come up to the top now. These ones are just sniffing around where the first hyena had taken the kill to. And this is exceptionally frustrating that now my phone works once the action is done. Ugh. We have the hyena on the ground. Thumbela is in the tree above. And in the tree adjacent to us, right at the top there, is the cub. Safe and sound. So after all that panic and Chad's filming frustrations, I'm realizing I'm not cut out for a cameraman. Much better to do the still stuff. But yeah, there's a peaceful scene now as Thumbela just lasers in the boerbean that half an hour ago safely housed her kill. How things can change in the bush. Started with the boy dropping it. Can hear a hyena approaching again. It's very unfortunate for her. Very lucky for the hyena. But mom and cub are safe, and that's all that they probably care about at the moment. And they'd eaten a fair bit. So, not a complete waste. Oh, I'd love to know how many kills she's lost to hyenas in the past. Here is movement. I'm calling for the cub. He's in the trees behind. He may come down and join her. You can see him moving now actually. Just to the right of her, but in the background. Don't know if you'll hear his high-pitched calls. She's sniffing where there's still some stomach content. I don't think you're going to find any scraps there, my girl. Those hyenas did a great job cleaning up. He's coming down. Some very tall trees and you can see him coming down in the back there. Not so elegantly. He's going to come join her. Mother and son reunited. Calm. And safe. This is special. What's even more incredible, I mean, we spoke last time about how he wasn't particularly confident. This is happening 6-7 meters from me, and he's waltzing around very confidently. So Thumbela and her boy have moved off now. Looks like they've gone back down into the Mashatan, south of where they had their kill. So we're not going to be able to follow them, it doesn't appear. In fact, I can't see them. They haven't popped out into the riverbed. I thought they were going to. Maybe they're just resting in the thickets. But yeah, it was a lovely couple of hours with them this morning again. So I think we're going to leave them be and carry on. Sorry I missed all the action, but a little snippet of it, but it was still very, very cool. So I mentioned in the last episode when we were looking for, when we were watching the hippo, that we were actually looking for a rare bird in this area. It's called a lesser moorhen. And here we have one such family. It looks like it's the male feeding a chick on the right. That little ball of black feathers is the chick. So they, sorry, giving me the runaround here. And here we have the female. So they're probably more common than we realize in years like this, when you have grasslands inundated with water and these almost marshy areas. That's what they're like. Omnivores, they walk around feeding on insects and the seeds of the reeds, but very, very inconspicuous birds, as brightly coloured as they do appear there. When they want to disappear, they can. So this pair has found a home with their chicks at a little pan here off Eagle Owl Plains. And it's my first time actually seeing them in the Timbavati. Although they have been recorded before in previous years of good rain, I've never managed to actually, or never bothered to really go out and see them. But what a time to come and see them now. Filming a sofa safari. Beautiful birds. But yeah, they've been sightings of them popping up all over the Kruger Park. Normally you'd only find them in very permanently marshy areas. Maybe get to see some rain starting to fall as I lie here on the water's edge, getting wet. Oh, this is quite heavy. Walking around the reeds. Not sure if it's grabbing insects or grass seeds. Very, very cool. There's the lesser moorhen. You can see how the male goes and grabs things and then feeds the chicks. So that's why they're following it around so closely. And the little guys go. Still can't count how many babies there are. It looks as though there's at least 3. The other day the guests said they counted about 6. This is not the magic of Photoshop, or would you call it video shop? Terrible joke, terrible. I went to the hairdresser, so it was the magic of the barber that trimmed those lockdown locks. It is afternoon, same day. We are going to just have a swing past where I lost Thumbela and youngster this morning, and then see what else we can locate. Some lions would be good this evening. There were tracks in the west for one of our new prides. I'm not sure whether it's the Baluli girls or the Sark pride, but we'll maybe go and see if we can catch up with them. Sound like the tracks were pretty fresh this morning, so let's carry on. Another thing that is new and different, it's not the hare, it's a big bright thing behind us, the sun. It is out. Temperature's warm today, it's up to 29 degrees, and yeah, bush is feeling like summer again with the sun. There's a beautiful roller. It's probably going to fly when I try to film it. Ah, incredibly, it's sitting still, but there we go. Blue sky just makes the colours of these European rollers pop, and he's finding it boring. That's why he's yawning. It's not very pleasant of you. Got a wildebeest in the front and some ellies moving through the back. And some zebras. It's one of those wonderful African scenes. Well, the grass looks pretty dry there. I was actually noticing this morning on these sodic sites how the grasses are drying, but it's mostly the grass stalks and the seeds that are giving it that colour. The leaves themselves are still pretty green. Back trying to film my lesser moorhens and just not having luck, so I thought we'd get some white-faced ducks instead, who are now not playing along anymore. So they did manage to locate on some lions, those lions that were in the west, whose tracks they had this morning. A friend left them unattended, says they were fast asleep. However, the last 2 times he told me to go to cats that are fast asleep, they've gone, disappeared. So I'm heading towards these lions, not expecting them to be there, but hoping that they may still. So not much light left, so we'll hopefully catch them just as they're waking up, before it gets too dark. So I needn't have feared. Looks like we got some well-fed lions sleeping here in the Sharumi. Now lions they may be to you, but to us this is a bunch of new faces. Debutantes on Sofa Safari, because they are very new in our area. These 2 girls are known as the Baluli females, based on the pride that they are believed to have originated from in northern Klaseri. Yes, Baluli itself is another reserve. Why they were called the Baluli females we don't know, but a pride that was referred to as a Baluli's pride did contain these young girls, who have now since December been moving in the Timbavati. Our first viewing of them was either late December or early January, and they seem to be coming more regularly into the area, but they are not alone. They are with their pride male. He also moved in with them from the Baluli. He's known as the Dundee male. So yeah, a new pride of lions in our area. A very small pride in the formative stages of one still, with the females being very young. Haven't got youngsters of their own. The Dundee male, I would have to find out if anybody knows how old he is, but he is looking to be of a similar age to the Narus, but obviously being alone, not nearly as powerful in coalition strength. Well, he's not a coalition, he's a solitary male. So it will be difficult for him to establish or take over any existing territories, any existing prides. So he's done well latching onto 2 young females that were nomads, didn't have a pride, found a male who didn't have a pride, and they are now trying to find a territory that is unoccupied. And because the river pride have really shifted their territory, I mean, we're actually sitting now in the very place the river pride had their cubs at this time last year, when we were seeing the cubs and when we had our first view of the three youngest cubs. It was at this very spot. So we're at a place called the Confluence Crossing where the Zebenine and the Sharalumi rivers come together. This was the River Pride's territorial core. They have done a complete shift from this area all the way down to our eastern and southeastern corners, which used to be the Mayambula Pride's territory. With the Mayambulas having moved further south and east into the Kruger, there was open space. The River Pride have taken that, leaving this former territorial range of theirs unoccupied. These lions have moved in, can smell and hear that there's no immediate presence of lions, and although the Narus do occasionally come through here, and the River Pride from time to time, it's very, very seldom. Not enough to make these three lions feel uncomfortable. So they're going to set themselves up. You may start roaring, you may start taking this as their own. Whether the Naru males will feel that this is threatening their territory, I'm not sure, and whether they'll respond, I can't say, but it would be nice if another pride settled within our area. Sorry, I cut myself off mid-sentence there. There's definitely enough space. I mean, between where the River Pride are and the Western Pride to the north and the Giraffe Pride to the west, there's a lot of open gaps, a lot of space. And we're finding that this pride, the Baluli girls and the Dundee male, are moving to the northwest of the River Pride, southwest of the Western Pride. And then between the River Pride and the Giraffe Pride, we have another pride called the Sark Breakaways. Random name, can't tell you where it came from, but the pride itself originates in the southwestern Klaserie. So there seems to be this push of young breakaway prides, youngsters that are either kicked out of their natal pride by dominant males, or prides that get too big and split, they start moving. Hey, the River Pride did that. The River Pride used to be a pride that was very well established around the Klaserie River in the Klaserie, until new males came in, put pressure on them, and the moms took their 7 youngsters, moved them here into the Timbavati. They found a gap because the Zebenine pride, well, they were tiny pride, and they managed to kind of eke their way into this. Once the Naru males came and chased them berries away, they settled. So it's not uncommon for these prides to move around, and it's amazing how quickly they can find these gaps. So yeah, it's very exciting to have some new lions, and it would be really nice if these two girls could get the pride going. I can't tell you how long the male has been with them, but at least since December you could see from that interaction they're getting on well. So there's every chance that this male has already been mating with them and could lead to some cubs in the not too distant future. They'll need to feel very settled in this area before they give birth. So if the Western Pride, River Pride and Naru males stay in the east and avoid coming here and disturbing these girls, then we could have the makings of a new pride core and a new pride with cubs. But I'm really jumping ahead, so I'm not going to say that is going to happen, just speculating as to what could happen. But let's just enjoy them for a little bit longer. Not a great deal of light left, so I'm probably going to have to leave them soon. It's way beyond the means of my cameras, but a peaceful scene nonetheless. Some lions in the Sharalumi again. So there we go, a very, very pleasant day in the bush. Sad to see what's happened to Thumbela's cub. I actually chatted to a vet friend of mine, and the prognosis doesn't look good. It looks as though that eye is already ruptured, and he is almost certainly going to lose it. But the encouraging thing is that it doesn't appear to be affecting him in any negative way just yet. Painful, I'm sure, but he wasn't rubbing or scratching it. He was up and down the trees, even big tall trees, without any hesitation. So he's obviously come to terms with whatever's happened, and we can only hope that he's able to make it through regardless of this, what is it, a disability. And also good to add this pride, who are still fast asleep here. But nice to introduce them to you on our Surf Safari series, and hopefully over the coming episodes and months and years for those visiting, you'll also get to lay eyes on what are really two beautiful girls and a lovely looking male. But anyway, for now, from me and from the Tanda Tula team here in the heart of the Timbavati, we wish you all well, stay safe, and we will see you again the same time next week. Until then, take care, cheerio.